other human beings are not here to be trusted, right? Have you ever lended money to somebody and, they promise that they're going to give you the money back and they give you a specific date? They're like, yeah, can I have this much money? I'm going to pay it back to you on this date. And you're like, you know what? I actually don't need this money right now. I can definitely give them this money, and then it's coming back to me. So it's like, there's no problem here, right? And then the day comes where the money is supposed to be given back to you. And, so you're waiting for a message to let you know that, hey, the money's ready. Like, how do I send it? Should you go pick it up? Like, what is it, right? So the day comes and nothing happens. You didn't receive a message. 2 weeks pass. A month passes, couple months, a year later, and you realize, this money is probably not coming back to you anytime soon. Or ever, for that matter. So, trust. You trusted this person to do what they said they were going to do, and they haven't. They clearly haven't, and now they may be even avoiding you, and you're trying to keep them accountable to what they said, right? So what do you do? What does that mean? So let's define trust. So the definition of trust is a firm belief. It's the state of being responsible for something or someone, right? And in this scenario, when we trust another person to do something that they're going to do, or when we put ourselves in a position to trust somebody, which seems like a very logical thing to do. You ask for something, you think you're going to get it back. Like, it just seems like a very reasonable situation, right? The problem with that is there's only really two people that you can trust, and two beings, I should say. One of those people is yourself, and the other person is the source. Well, I wouldn't say person, but the other being is the source. So you can only put your trust in yourself or in the source, which is God. These are the only two people that you can trust. So other beings, other people, friends, family, boyfriends, girlfriends, what have you, these are not people to put your trust in, right? Because we cannot control other people. When we put our trust in ourselves, then we are responsible for what happens, and we're actually able to do something or not to do something. We can control ourselves. When we put our trust in the source, in God, once we understand how he works, then we can trust in that, yes, this will happen because I know this is how God or the source works, right? So the first mistake is actually putting trust in another human being. Other human beings are not here to be trusted. They're here to be loved and accepted for who they are. People may not be capable of, for this example, giving you the money back that they said they were going to give you. For many reasons, maybe their circumstance has changed. Maybe they really did have good intentions of giving you this money back, but for whatever reason, they couldn't, or they just found something else that's more important to them, so they rather spend their money on that, So when it comes to giving something to other people, for like money, for example, when it comes to giving money, for example, even though they say they're going to give it to you back, that's not where your trust is. So if you're going to give something to somebody else, you have to give from an overflow. Give something that you don't need. Because if you give something that you need and you're going to really want it back when it's time to receive it, right? And if it doesn't come, it's really going to create a lot of emotional problems. You might resent this person. You might, you might let this person ruin your day, or you might let this person ruin your peace, and that's never worth it. Your peace is way more important, and the money can come back. You can make money. It's not that important, So the first mistake is misplacing your trust. People are not to be trusted. Don't place your trust in another human being. Just give and share from what you can afford to give. And if you cannot afford to give something, then don't give it. That's the best way to go about that. A really good analogy when it comes to trust is envision yourself like a bird. Imagine you're a bird, right? And as a bird, you visit many branches. There's so many branches that you want to go and visit or spend time on. Just like with people. People are like the branches, right? There's There's many people that you might want to spend time with, that you might want to go and visit, right? So if you're a bird and you're standing on a branch, there's a possibility that that branch can break at any time, right? And if that branch does happen to break, like, your trust is in yourself, in your wings, that you're able to move when it's time to move, right? It doesn't mean like don't hang out with people, don't care for people. Of course, be there for people, share things with them. But when it's time to move, you move. And whatever was there, you have to let it go immediately. Otherwise, you're the one who's going to suffer. Like, if the branch is falling, are you going to hold on to it and fall with the branch? No, you're going to have to let it go and move on. Imagine yourself as a bird, and people are like branches. You're able to stand on the branch however long you'd like, knowing that there's a possibility that that branch can fall. And if it's time to move forward, if the branch breaks, you trust in yourself that you're able to get up and fly when necessary. I wonder, what are your thoughts about trusting in people? Do you agree that that you can only trust yourself and the source? Or do you think that there are people to be trusted? Or how do you feel about that?